Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion using Quantmod as a package in R. Okay, so kindly please load again the packages Quantmod, Technical Trading in R, and Performance Analytics. So let me just run this. All right. So let's have a brief review of what we have discussed so far. We said that Quantmod is a very powerful package for getting data from outside sources like Yahoo, like Fred, and other sources. Okay, so far, we have learned to use get symbols to download data from Yahoo Finance. And if you recall, what we get from Yahoo Finance is an XTS object. So let's just review this. So we said that the basic function is get symbols and then Apple. You put this in quotes. This is the ticker symbol of the Apple stock. Okay. And you can put here comma source is equal to Yahoo. Okay. You can put source is equal to Yahoo. But actually you don't need that because the default is Quantmod will get the stock prices from Yahoo. Okay, so even if you don't put this, as we discussed last time, it will still allow us to get Apple prices from Yahoo. So if I run this, Apple, okay, and as we discussed last time, it prints here that there's this object Apple, and this Apple is in your data environment. And what's Apple plus? What is the object Apple? It's an XTS object, okay, extensible time series. So if I run this structure Apple, it will tell us that the object that we created, Apple, okay, is an XTS extensible time series object. And then last time we discussed the date that is by default downloaded. It's from 2007, which is and 103, which is the first trading day of 2007, until the most current one, the most current trading day, which is in this case 2024-01-25, which was yesterday. Okay, and then the data you have double here. This is numerical data. Okay, double signifies that it can take on decimal places. Unlike if it's integer int, which means that it will not take decimal places. There are 4,295 observations, rows, and then 6 columns. The columns are Apple open, Apple high, Apple low, etc., close, volume, and then adjusted. The index, okay, if I click this class, we said that an extensible time series object is special in the sense that the index is different from a, let's say, data frame. From a data frame, the index is just the chronological, it's a count number of 1, 2, 3. So if this was a data frame, this will be 1 up to 4,295. Okay? But in an extensible time series, the index is the date, which makes it really very convenient. Okay, as I said before, there was a time when you work with time series objects, the date is part of the column. The date is here. And sometimes it can be very difficult to work with dates. So this makes it very convenient really to work with this object because the date is separated as an index. All right. So the source is Yahoo, and then it's a POSIX city object. Okay, we will not really discuss what a POSIX. This is a convention in coding. Okay, POSIX. City here stands for calendar time. There's another format which is called POSIX LT. Okay, but for our XTS object for Quantmod, it generates the POSIX CT calendar time object. The format is you have here the day, the year, the month, the day, and then this is the hour, this is the minutes, and this is the seconds. So which means that this was downloaded 2:44 in the afternoon, okay, on January 24, 2026. All right, so this is the structure of our data. If you do take a look at our object AAPL, there are 4,295 entries or rows of observation, and you have 6 columns. 1 to 13 means that there are 13 out of 4,295. It means that the first 13 are shown here. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? May I request your feedback, please? If so far our discussion is okay. Is my speed okay, class? Okay. Thank you. All right. I do appreciate, class, your feedback. It really gives me some very important information about how I'm conducting the class. Okay. Thank you. All right. And also, you notice, class, that okay, thank you. Later on, we're going to learn more about modifying this. Okay, so last time we learned about getting symbols, and then as long as you know, class, the ticker symbol, and if it's available in Yahoo Finance, you will be able to get that. Then we said that we can also download several assets. So for in the case of this, so here we're downloading, okay, this is not Yahoo, sorry. This is Google, Google, Microsoft, oops, and Google, Microsoft, and sorry, Tesla. And Tesla, okay, Google, Microsoft, and Tesla. All right, so if you want to download several prices at the same time, then, okay, let me just comment this out first, sorry. So that it will not run. All right, so here, get symbols, and then we identify the ticker symbol Google, Microsoft, and Tesla, and I need to put another close parenthesis there. Okay, so what will R generate for us? It will generate 3 objects, Google, Microsoft, and Tesla. Okay, it will be part of your data. It will also be an XTS object, and it will default to either the default of 2007-0103 or the date of listing of a particular asset. So if I run this, Control Enter, so I will now find, okay, 3 other objects here: Google, Microsoft, and Tesla. And if you look at the dates as to when the date of loading starts, for Google and Microsoft it's 2007-0103, the same, but for Tesla it's 2010-06-29. And we said that this is because the listing of the stock, as far as Yahoo Finance is concerned, starts the date when the stock was listed. Okay, in the case of Tesla. However, for Google and Microsoft, if the stock was listed prior to 2007 January 3, it will still download from 2007, which is the default date as of this year. If you download stock prices again next year, then it will now become 2008 or 1, whatever the starting day of trading for 2008. Okay, so I hope this is clear, class. And even if, okay, if let's say, if I want to get the prices from an earlier date, what I can do is I can define, let me close this. Okay, so these are the sets of stocks, and then from and open, close, close. Okay, so let me just delete this. Okay, so I now define the all right. So I run this class, and then if I check, so I said 200101. If I check now the objects, I now have Google. It's now 20004. Before it was 20007. Now this tells us that Google was first traded in 2004 08 19. However, Microsoft was traded, it reflected 2001 03 because I said start from 2000, year 2000. So okay with Microsoft because Microsoft was being traded already prior to the year 2000. But for Tesla, even if we gave this command of from 2000, okay, from 2001, it did not change class because no matter how you specify that the date should be uh, earlier than any date class, but if the listing of the company was on a particular date, then it will only start to print or to give the price at that date. Okay, so is that clear, class? Again, may I ask class if that's clear as to whether we can get prices of the assets by specifying the date? Yes, we can. All right, good. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, and by the way, what do you notice happened, class? What do you notice happened about for example, the listing for Microsoft? When we first run this, the date that was included was 2007-01-03. Now, when we run it again, the same stocks, and then we redefined the date 2000, you notice that Microsoft was overwritten. The 2007 here was overwritten. Okay, so it reflected now the new date. Okay, so because it's the same object, Microsoft, and then a while ago we did not define the date, so the default was 2007. But after redefining the date to 2000, okay, notice now Microsoft is 2000. So what happened there? It overwrote the existing Microsoft, which before we run this code for this one class, it started at 2007, which is the default if you're downloading prices for this year. Okay. So we said also that you can also download data from other sources like Fred. We looked at Fred last time, and Fred is such a very huge and a big database. 800,000 databases. That's huge, class, and coming from 141 different sources. So we can also tap into the database from Fred. So for example, what we did last time was to define the ticker symbol of the data that we want to source, but we have to identify that the source is Fred. Failing to do so, class, will generate an error term because Yahoo Finance does not have this GDP. Okay, and we showed it last time. Okay, so we have to define the source. So the source is very important, especially if it's not coming from Yahoo. If the source is not Yahoo, then you will have to define the specific source, a particular source. Otherwise, it will generate an error term. All right. So last time we also did this. Okay. We also downloaded the exchange rate of Japan and the US currencies. And let's also include here the unemployment rate and rate. Okay. So here I think we only downloaded the exchange rate for Japan US last time. We did not include UN rate. Here I'm including it. So when you download several assets, just like what we did in Microsoft a while ago, Microsoft, Google, and Tesla, you have to use the concatenator C. So here we're downloading DEX JPUS, and then the exchange rate between Japanese yen and US dollars, and also the employment rate, and source is equal to thread. So if I run this, okay, so it tells us that it generated this object, and this object is here. This is also an extensible time series, and from thread it will give us the first listing, which is 1971 here, up to 2020 for the last listing, which is 2024 January 19, and also the unemployment rate from 1948. Okay, and if you take a look at this object, so 710104, 71, this is the year, month, and the day. So this is daily data. Yeah, I think I got it wrong when I said a while ago that it's quarterly data. This is daily data class. January 4, January 5. So there are 13,840 entries. So from 1971 until 2024, the latest listing is January 1, January 19. There are 13,840 observations and only one column. Okay, so you have here the exchange rate, Japanese US, and also the unemployment rate. I'll open this here. It's also, this is monthly data, January 1, February 1. That's why there are only 912 entries from 1948 up to December 2023. Okay, so that's 912 months. Okay. All right. So any questions so far, class? Again, I hope you don't mind me pausing once in a while and asking for feedback from you. Are we okay so far? Am I going too fast, or is my pace just fine? Okay, good. Thank you, class. Appreciate your feedback. Okay, good. All right, so let me go back to our RMD file. Just okay, then this one we haven't discussed this. There are other sources, class, where we can get data, and one source is WANDA, OANDA. WANDA is a source for foreign currencies. Okay, for foreign exchange, for foreign currency exchanges. Okay, so for example, if we want to get data for the foreign currency exchange of sterling, Great Britain pound, British pound, and the Canadian dollar, we can use this function, get symbols, and then quotes GBP/CAD quotes, okay, and then source is equal to WANDA, small o, OANDA, and then put it in quotes. Okay, let's wait for you to copy the code and and run it and tell me what happened, class. What happened? Get symbols, Great Britain pounds, that's British pound or sterling, slash CAD is Canadian dollars, and source is equal to WANDA. Okay, thank you, Colleen. Okay, how about the others? Did you also get in your, where did you get it? In your data or in your values? Okay, you got it in your data. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, good. So you were able to download that. If I run this, or let me run this also. In my case, also the same. I'm going to have here, the object is GBP, and you notice that there's no slash. Okay, GBP. Here, the object that we're using is GBP slash CAD because that's how the ticker symbol is represented in WANDA. Okay, but when the object is now created, notice that there's no slash here because slash is not allowed as a part of a name. Okay, and also we see that GBPCAD is an XTS object. Now, how many observations do we have here, class? Can you check, please? And please chat in the chat box. How many observations were we able to extract from WANDA? Okay. All right. Good. Good. 179 observations, and you can see it, but just by printing this here, and you can see here this information that there are 179 rows of data. Or, okay, we can use, for example, n row. There's this function called n row. N row counts a number of rows. So what's the object? GBP. Okay, and there's this intelligence that appears what object we can use starting with GBP. It's GBPCAD. Okay, n row, and then alt a tab, and then if I run this, control enter, there you get n row 179 rows of observation. Or we can also use, let me see, length GBPCAD. Okay, length is also 179, right? So that's how we can identify the number of observations using the n row function or the length function. Okay. So far, clear tayo, no? All right. Then, okay, now there's another way to also download the data. Okay, first we create, okay, let me just share with you, not the code, but this one, the text control C, in the interest of time. But I want you to be the one to type the code. Okay, let's identify a name currency underscore pair. You can name it any way you want. And then the currency pair is GBP CAD slash CAD. And then instead of using here GBP CAD, I'm going to use currency pair. So let me first run this. Try nyo muna, class, i-run yung currency pair na to. No? Okay, and tell me what happens. Do not yet run the get symbols. So let's run currency pair, and then we name it GBP CAD with the slash. Okay. Now this is very important, the slash, kasi we're going to represent this by the name currency pair, and the currency pair we're going to use here. Okay, so if this is substituted, it should have the slash. Without the slash, class, it will not run because the ticker symbol for the currency pair, for the exchange rate between British pound and Canadian dollars is the one with the slash. Okay, so let's run this first, control enter. And you notice, class, where do we find the currency pair object here? Can you answer that, please? Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're correct. It can be found in the values. Okay, it can be found in the values. Now, what's the difference, class, between this classification data and this values classification here in your environment? What's the difference between them? Okay, why wasn't it why wasn't it lumped with the data in the global environment? What's the difference between them? The answer, class, lies in, let's take a look at the class of the object currency currency there. So notice I don't have to type everything, and it has something to do with this one class. No? Take a look at the symbol, okay, as compared to when you were typing. Okay, let me just, okay, before we do that, let me just up arrow, up arrow, up arrow here, N row, okay, and then G, B, P, okay. Now take a look at this class, G, B, P, C, and D. So there's a difference between the G, B, P, C, A, D, the icon here. Okay, let me run this. Okay, notice a difference. And okay, let me, what was I typing a while ago? Class currency there. Okay, what's the difference, class, between the icon before the name of the object? Notice there's a difference. This one, okay, has a different icon as compared to the GBP CAB. The one with the G for the GBP CAD looks like a spreadsheet. This one, class, looks different. Okay, so what's the difference? If I run this class currency pair, I'm getting a character. On the other hand, if I run class GBP CAD, okay, so there's a difference, class. Okay, and what's the difference? GBP is an XTS object or a zoo object. Yung zoo object, class, it came before XTS object. So can you tell me the difference between the classification data here and the values here? What do you think? Data versus values. Any guess, class? Yes, Colleen?
Sir, I'll just try. For the class currency, it will show you the class of the object with of the like stored in the variable, and then for
Okay.
if it's class the GBP CAD, it will show you the object stored in the variable, so it can either be numeric, character, or like some other type of data.
Okay. Pero pwede ring ano okay. That partly answers the question, but it's also possible that your values here, okay, can also be, let me show you, class. I'm going to create this object A, okay, and then it will contain the number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is numerical, class. It's not character. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 is numeric. Okay, if I run this, control. So notice, class, it's here. It's in the values. It's not in the data. And it's numeric, class. Okay, Joseph, kindly share your answer to everyone.
Sir, my answer
Ano
was
mo na lang,
Okay. So,
i-paste mo yung ano mo, comment mo to everyone.
okay po,
To
sir.
everyone.
Wait lang po.
Okay. So sabi ni Joseph, yung sa data, full set of information, while for values, it's just a number or letter. All right. So yeah, partly. But I was hoping, class, that you would be able to answer that, kasi if you watch already the data structure, na-discuss ko na yun dun eh. So, ang difference sila, class, sa values, class, these are vectors. Sa data, class, it can be a list, it can be a matrix, it can be a data frame, it can be an XTS, it can be a zoo, okay, etc. So the main difference is that sa values, class, ang rina-record lang dyan, vector siya. And I hope by this time you already know what a vector stands for. Okay, a vector is a data type. It's a type of a data structure which only contains one type. Kunyari panay characters, for example, I'll create another object B here. Okay, I'll create another object B, alt minus, and concatenate ko si A. Okay, sorry. A, tapos comma, si B, tapos comma, si D. Example lang yan, no? So I'm creating this object called B, and ang laman niya, ABC, ABD. Control Enter, and notice it goes under mataas. It goes under this one. Dito, no? Andito siya sa values. Okay? Vector kasi siya. It contains only one type of object, character. Okay? All right. Sige. Okay, let's continue with this. All right. Now, by the way, class, if I want to remove a particular object here, for example, I want to remove letter A. How do I remove letter A? How do I delete the values letter A? Or for that matter, I can delete unrate in my object. So when I delete unrate, I can no longer use this because I have already removed this from my environment. But how do I do that? How do I delete selected objects in our environment? Anyone? What function do we use? Yes. Okay, thank you, Angelica. You're correct. Kindly again, class, share your answer to everyone when you're answering. Okay, Colin, thank you. You're correct. So you just use the RM, and then if I write the object here, RMA, you notice A is here, but when I use RMA,
Sabi ni Bianca, ang boring daw. Pansin ko nga. Mukha nga, wala naman kasi.
Eliza,
Wala kang
boring ba yung subject natin? Liza, hindi na sumugot. Okay. I do hope, class, na hindi boring itong subject na to. Maybe for some, medyo you find it a bit boring, but I hope for the majority you don't find it that way. All right, so let's now continue here. Okay, my question now is, okay, let me copy this. Control C, and then chat ko sa inyo. Okay, so the question is, a while ago we downloaded the GBP British Pound Canadian exchange rate. Okay, ito yun, di ba? This one. Okay, so this means that for every one Canadian dollar on 7/31, for every one Canadian dollar, okay, sorry, for every one British pound, there is 1.69772 Canadian dollars. Okay, so, all right. But as we said, class, we were only able to download 179 entries from WANDA. Now, is it possible to, let's say, I want to generate 300 days of data, the British pound, sterling, Canadian dollars exchange rate. Can we do that? Can we have 300 days? What do you think, class? So let's do that, and that's very easy to code. we'll just use the, okay, before we run this class, you recall yung sys, gagamitin natin class is sys.date. Okay, can you run this class and tell me what happens? Yung sys.date. Sys.date class. What is generated? Okay, it will give us, yeah, today's date. Yeah, correct. Remember class, if we run this tomorrow, it will give us tomorrow's date. So it's a date that's reflected, unless kumali yung date ng computer nyo, no? A system's date, system ng computer nyo. Eh. So that's why we use, if you recall class, we use this, di ba ito, ang ginagamit natin dito. Ay, mali. Control Z. Here, di ba sa date ang ginagamit natin? Then R, recall this, sys, that date. Okay. All right, let's go back here. So the sys.date will give us today's date. All right, so if we want 300 days back, okay, so this is how we do it. Gamitin natin si sys.date. Sys.date. Okay, sana siya? Okay, ito class, no? So this is what I did. We're going to use the currency pair, okay, the object that we created, currency pair, and then from is equal to, naalala yung class yung from, sys.date, and then minus, so let's make this minus 300, okay? 2 is equal to sys.date, yung date to day, and then source is Wanda. Okay, make sure to include source is equal to Wanda, otherwise that will not run. All right, sige class, paki-run, and tell me if Wanda provides us with the 300 prior dates of data. Will Wanda class give us this? Paki-chat na lang, please. Right, you have to write the code yourself for practice also, and for you to be really more familiar with the coding in R. Make sure your Wanda is not capitalized. Yes, thank you, Patrice. Okay, paki-share naman, Patrice, yung answer mo sa lahat, no? Okay, again, guys, reminder lang, please, when you share an answer, please. Okay, Angelica, thank you. All right, Patricia, thank you. All right, so if you run this class, you notice that Wanda, which is a private company, it will only generate the past 180 days. Okay, a while ago when we used this without specifying the period, it generated 179 days, right? If I get 180 days, we will be able to get that because, as Wanda states, it will give the past 180 days. So you can try this class. Okay, kindly try it and see what happens if you were able to get the GBP CAD, and how many days. So make it 180 and try to see class in your data the GBP CAD. Try to see if you click this, how many days does it give us? Answer, please. Okay, good. All right, so that tells us that we can we can get the past 180 days. All right. So if you want the 300 days or 365 days, you have to subscribe. And unfortunately, may payment yung subscription. But there are other sources naman to get the currency pair. All right, now what happens here? Okay, let's try this class. So I'm going to create another currency pair. This time, let's name it CNY. This is Chinese yen, Philippine peso. So this is the symbol, the ticker symbol for CNY-PHP. CNY/PHP. Okay, let's try this first, class. Kindly run this. Okay. Actually, okay. So this is just a repetition, class. So exactly the same as the example a while ago, the GBP CAD. So okay, I'll just give you a few seconds. There's actually not so much value added here because it's just the same. Okay, I want to move on to the next one, but I'll give you a few seconds just to run that. And please chat if you were able to get the data for the exchange rate between Chinese yuan and the Philippine peso. Okay, good. Thank you so much for the feedback. So nothing different here, class. We just replaced the yeah. Thank you for the feedback. We just replaced the currency pair, the British pound and the Canadian dollar, with Chinese yuan and the Philippine peso. Okay. All right. So let's go here now. Okay. This one, class. We'd like to see what happens here. Okay. So Control C. Let me just chat the instruction, but not the code. All right. So let's download this SPY data. SPY is an exchange traded fund for mimicking or following the Standard and Poor's 500. So yung SPY, class, sinusundan niya si index na S&P 500. So it's an exchange traded fund. Okay. So let's now because a while ago yung get symbols natin ganito lang, class, di ba? Right? Ganito lang. This time, ang gusto ko, class, let's give a name to this object SPY. Okay, before we run this, class, if you just run this, what will happen? Can you tell me, class, what will happen? Get symbols, SPY, source is equal to Yahoo. What will you be able to generate? Okay, you should be able to answer that question. Anyone, please? Okay, magtatawag lang ako, ha. Okay. How about Godot? What will happen if I run this? Sir Agustin?
Sir, hindi pa po ako makasunod. Kinakapa ko pa po.
Alright. Pero rinana natin kanina yan. Sige. Anyone, please? Miss Eliza Reyes? What will happen? If I just run this, get symbols, SPY, source is equal to Yahoo. Eliza, what will happen? Miss Reyes? Okay, Miss Reyes. Miss Reyes, are you here? What object will be downloaded? Eliza?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sorry, I'm outside po.
Anong outside?
Spy XTS object po.
Sorry. SPY what?
Hello, sir.
Yes, paki answer please. What
Sir,
object?
can I chat it na lang po?
Sige, chat mo na lang.
Okay.
And what type of object is that? Okay, yeah, thank you, Eliza. You're correct, no? So if we just use this, get symbols, we know, class, that it will generate a SPY object. It's an XTS object. Okay, and then the default from 2007 up to 2020 for the latest trading date. Now, what will happen if we would like the name not to be capital SPY, okay? But rather just small SPY. Okay, what will happen if we run this class? Okay, I think I saw some answers already a while ago. Okay, so if I run this class, what will happen? What do you observe, class? Take a look at your objects. Okay, it will generate the same XTS object. Again, class, please, when you share your answer, please share to everyone. Huwag niyo kakalimutan na share to everybody, not a direct message to me. I'm sure your classmates are also interested in your answer. All right, so merong mga comment dito, no? Sabi ni Colleen, it will generate the SPY object, XTS object. Okay, so sabi ni Adam, you get 4,000 entries. All right, yung kanina sabi ni Eliza, SPY, capital SPY, XTS object. Okay, when we just run yung get symbols, no? Tapos sabi ni Migs dito, it generates an XS object and a value. Oh, now that's interesting, no? So let me run this class. All right. And sabi nga ni Migs class, what happened is, meron tayong data dito, no? SPY, it's an XS object, correct? Nasa data siya, XTS object siya. Okay, so we know class, pag XTS object, pag zoo, pag TS, pag data frame, pag list, pag arrays, dito yan sa data. So if I click this, if I view SPY, okay, automatically mag-view na tama, no? Andi dito yung SPY. More than 4,200 entries, sabi nga kanina, no? And the usual class, the usual XS object with six variables or 6 columns. Pero class, what's interesting is now we have this. Oh, meron ng isa dito, no? Meron ng vector, di ba? Di ba sabi natin kanina, vector to, right? The objects here in the values are vectors, while dito sa data, non-vectors to. Okay? So meron tayong vector, a character vector. So the SPY refers to an object called SPY. Okay? Yung SPY na to class, ito sa SPY, take a look, class, an object na SPY, okay? Class ng object na small SPY, it's a character. So it has no bearing at all with the SPY object. Ito, yung SPY na big letter, no? Class, and then capital letter S, P, Y. Okay, class ni SPY, control enter, which is an XTS or a zoo object. Okay, so hindi sila related. Si SPY small, just a character vector. Si SPY na big, it's an XTS object. Okay, magkaiba yan. All right, so although it generated class, itong SPY na big S na XTS object, it did not really generate what I wanted. Kasi ang gusto ko class, walang big SPY. Ang gusto ko lang, what I wanted was just a small SPY to na XTS object. All right, so what really happened here? Okay. So ito class, yung gusto ko class na SPY data, yung small SPY na XTS object did not materialize. Why? Okay, so let me share with you. Ito muna, no? Some notes here. Okay, sandali. So copy nyo tong notes na to. Here. Control C. Let me chat this. Kindly copy this sa chat box. Okay. Kindly copy that class and let's discuss this. All right. When you use this function, get symbols class, merong yan, sige, check natin class dito Check natin yung default function yan. Question mark, get symbols. Okay? Ito, no? Get symbols. O, dito tayo sa... Okay, dito lang. Get symbols lang. Ito lang. Control Enter. Okay. Ito, get symbols from Quantmod, no? So if you take a look at this class, yan. Yung get symbols class na function, maraming parameters yan class, yan, no? So ang ginagamit lang natin yung symbols na naring apple, etc. Alright? So meron pang iba yan. Andito nakita na gamit na natin tong source. The others we have not used kasi hindi naman useful for us, no? So meron pa dito isa, no? Yung auto.assign, which I'm going to discuss now. Alright? Ano yung auto.assign? So, what was happening, class? What was happening is that since hindi natin sinusulat yung auto.assign, ano siya, class? Auto.assign is equal to true. Default yun, class, no? Right? Auto.assign is equal to true siya, no? So let me show that here, class. Ito. Let me do this. All right. So gawin natin ulit kanina yung ginawa natin kanina, class. Let's name this true or letter T. So what we did a while ago, class, yung walang auto.assign, it's equivalent to including auto.assign pero is equal to true. Kasi di ba sabi natin, pag may default, pag ginawang true yan, okay, ibig sabihin, you can delete this. You can delete this, and then it's equivalent to auto.assign is equal to true. All right, so let's run this class. Control Enter, and see what happened. May nabago ba? Was there a change? Was there a change, class? Wala. Andito pa rin si SPY. No? It's still here. And then, si small s, andito pa rin. Same pa rin, class. So the result was not changed. All right, so which means, class, that yung get symbol spy source is equal to Yahoo is the same as get symbol source and then auto.assign is equal to true. Now, if I change this, class, if I change this, what happens? If I make this F or false, capital lahat, small f or capital lahat false, what happens? Okay, can you tell me now, class? Ang gawin natin, class, gawa tayo dito ng, gawin natin SPY1. Yan. So let's create another object. And then, sige, ito na muna, class. S5 muna, no? Okay, tell me what happened, class. Okay, so, yun, okay. Thank you, Pinying. All right, sabi ni Pinying, spy becomes an XTS object. And what happened to the small spy, class? What happened to the small spy? The small spy, class, hindi ko pa nararan, no? So let me run this. Let me run this. There you go. Okay, what happened was, nawala na si small spy, class, no? Naging small spy na dito. Okay, so you now have an object called small spy. Pero ando dun pa rin yung big spy, class, ha? Kasi hindi naman natin dinelete to. R created a new object, small spy. Okay, pero nawala na yung spy dito, yung small spy. It was already overwritten by the new spy object. Okay, and it's exactly the same. Okay, pareho lang yan yung big spy at saka small spy. Now, anong usefulness ito, class? Okay, for me, for example, I prefer naming my objects yung small letters lang. Okay, so that's why I usually create this. If I'd like to name Microsoft MSFT with small MSFT, this is what I do. But I need to write their auto.assign is equal to false or F. Okay, to make sure that hindi magne-name si hindi gagawa ng object si R na capital SPY kasi default yun eh. Take a look at this, class. How about this one? So let's create this object J and J for Johnson & Johnson's. Chat natin to. Okay, Johnson & Johnson's. So get symbols Capital to class J and J, source is equal to Yahoo. Another way to write auto.assign is equal to false is environment is equal to null. Okay? So please tell me, class, nag-create ba ng capital J and J o ang na-create is the small j and j as an XTS object? Okay, let's see. Small j and j. Thank you, Justin. All right, so I hope everybody got that. So if you want, depende yung class sa ano nyo, no, sa gusto nyo. Ako personally, I would, if I'm creating objects, I would assign it small letters. No? And then either I use auto.assign or environment is equal to null. All right, so far we have expanded the use of get symbols. We have learned how to use concatenate in several stacks. Okay. By the way, class, yung kanina, yung C, di ba? Microsoft, Google, Tesla, you can create an object also out of that. No? So for example, stocks, which is C, Microsoft, etc. Then you can use the name stocks for this one. We'll have that example in the future. Kasi pag mag-portfolio optimization tayo, marami tayong stocks na kukunin. Tapos, syempre, mas maganda kung shortcut kung get symbols natin, one name lang dito. And that one name refers to a vector of names of the different stocks. All right. Okay, so ito class, no? Turning off the auto.assign, which we mean auto.assign is equal to false. Okay, we will be able to create the object that we want. All right, so ito naman class. Okay, in the interest of time, i-share ko na rin pati yung code na to. Okay, anyway, ano lang naman to, simple lang. Okay, so this is just about time class. Okay, take a look at this. What type of data is this? So I'm creating this object called X, and it's 2024-01-26, and then 14-01-30. So a while ago, I said that this is your year, this is your month, this is your day, this is your hours, this is your minutes, and this is your seconds. So if we run this class, ito na muna. So mag-generate ng isang character. No? So this is a vector. Nasa value siya. Okay. Nasa value siya. Itong X. If I get the class of X, alam natin na character yan. Character class kasi nagsimula siya sa open quotes and ending quotes. Pag ganyan class, yung isang value, isang item, o isang object, or element of an object class, character yan. So structure again class, character din yan. Okay? Character siya na ang laman ito. So that's the structure there. Character siya. Anong character? Ito yung laman niya. Alright. Now, what if I want, okay? What if I want to convert that into a time series? Okay, so pwede natin gawing time series yan by using this object. Okay. By the way, ito pa pala, no? O sige, ito class, kayo na magsusulat nito. I want you to write this. So your X class, we will convert it into a POSIX city. So POSIX class is a way of writing. It's a way of writing, if I'm not mistaken, writing codes more on Linux yata to. No? City here stands for calendar time or current time ba? I think current time. Either current time or calendar time. Sorry, I forgot, no? So tapos, sige, gawin natin, i-convert natin sa X as POSIX city, no? X. Let's see what happens. So when we run this, ano nangyari kay X? So si X andi dito pa rin, no? Pero hindi na siya yung may quotes, no? Hindi na siya quotes. So element pa rin siya, pero vector siya kasi nasa value siya. Okay? It's a vector. Okay? Sensitive yung chunk ko. All right. So if we type class and if we run class and structure, notice now it's a POSIX city object. Okay, PO6CT siya, sabi dito, 1 row, 1 column. Format is this one. Year, month, day, hours, minutes, seconds. Okay. So although vector siya, pero hindi na siya character vector. So it's now a PO6 vector. Yan. In fact, may +8 nga siya, di ba? Ito. And we discussed last time that this is your UCT. UCT yung or yung GMT natin +8 kasi Philippine time yan, no? Kasi Philippine computer ako. So if I check saan na yun? Okay, here. Naulit lang pala to, no? Ito na lang, yung systems time zone. Control enter. Yeah. So this is the Singapore time zone, Asia, Singapore time zone. Kasi ano natin, di ba, ka-time zone natin ng Singapore. All right. So I'll just share with you this note. Yung PO6CT stores date and time in seconds with the number of seconds beginning at, so ito siya class, no? Ito yung convention ng PO6CT. Ang time zero niya, okay, is January 1, 1970. Okay? So it can record seconds. So it can record, kaya nga yung time, yung frame niya, yung format niya, di ba? A year, month, day, hours, minutes, seconds. So ibig sabihin, kaya niya i-capture yung seconds. So that's how powerful the PO6CT format is. Okay, so any date prior to 1970 will be negative. Okay, and any date after 1970 will be positive. So ganun yung convention niya, time convention. Okay, which is what's also used by Microsoft. Sa Excel, ganun din. In a sense, no? PO6CT din siya. So i-chat natin to. Okay, just notes here for your perusal if you want to learn more about this. All right. So, medyo okay lang tayo, no? I think we're on time. Can we see the code before that note? Okay, sige. I'll give you a few seconds to, I won't share it class, no? Gusto ko kayo magsulat. Sige. And when you're done, paki-chat na lang para so that we can continue. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Janica. Okay. Thank you, Patrice. All right, any more questions? Pause muna ako, class. Any questions so far? Is our discussion clear so far, class? Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, sige, let's continue. We are attempting to be on the same page as the other section. All right, so let me chat this, yung instructions lang in the interest of time. All right. So very easy to class, no? We'll now use Quantmod to plot time series. So let's create an object called Apple. So ang date natin from 1/1/15 to 12/31/2023. Okay, so medyo ano to, yung 9-year period. Okay, so you know how to do that, class? Okay, and then if we want to create this object AAPL, small AAPL, let's make sure we write this auto.assign is equal to false. Okay, and tell me what happens, class, when you run this code chunk. So Apple, small a, get symbols. The ticker symbol is all caps AAPL, and then source is equal to Yahoo. Let's identify the start and the end, and then auto.assign. We have to include that so that R will create an object called a small AAPL. and not the big AAPL. Okay, when you're done, class, if you run this, okay, you should be getting this object AAPL, okay, and there will be, I have a big AAPL here because I run this, we ran this a while ago, no? But now we have this AAPL also, small AAPL. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, you're correct, Godo. It created the small AAPL. Okay. Just a note here. If we did not have this, this small A, big A class was not, did not come from the most recent code that we did, class. No? Okay, you might think, it also generated the big AAPL object. No, the big AAPL came from the code that we ran a while ago. All right, so it also, so ang beginning niya class is January 2, 2015 until 2023, December. All right, because we defined the beginning and the end. Okay, now you can easily answer these questions, class. Control C. This is just a review, quick review, class. Okay, so what type of object is AAPL? Of course, it's an XCS object. Display the first 10 rows. What function will that be? Okay, I will not anymore run that, but we know it's head, diba? Head, and then AAPL, and then 10. And the last rows will be your tail. Tail AAPL, and then 5. If you don't put any number there, we know that the default is 6 rows of observation. Okay, and if you want, for example, the number of observations of the object itself, we can use n row of AAPL, or this can also be length of AAPL. Okay, so if I run this, n row AAPL and length AAPL, control enter. Okay, so wait, sorry. The length is different, class. I stand corrected. The length will be, it will be the number of unique observations. Okay, sorry about that. So length is a different function. Okay, so this one, class, there are 2264 all in all. If you multiply this by 6, because there are 6 columns, that's what the length function will give us. So the length is more used for vectors, because vectors only has 1 row. Okay, so how was the length of AAPL generated? It's 2264 times 6. You'll have 13,584. Okay, I hope I didn't confuse you with that. All right, so let's go here now. Okay, so I'm going to okay, just copy the instructions. All right, and then you run you write the code. So we can use the plot function, plot AAPL. So let's run this first. Okay, let's run the plot function AAPL. Now, what will happen here? If we plot AAPL, let's notice the result. Okay, so it's not clear anymore. If we check this, you can check this class and see, what did it print? What did it plot, class? Did it plot the open, the high, the low, the close, class? So that's a question I want you to I want you to decipher? Or is this the volume? Okay, so what did the plot function do here? Because if you take a look at this, class, if you take a look at this is 6E plus 0.08. So what's this? What's this? These are very big values. These are not the prices. If I click Apple, class, okay, the prices are just this one, 27. But the volume is this one. Okay? This is the volume. So apparently what's being plotted here is the volume. Look at this. This is to the 8th power, 10 to the 8th power. So that's in millions. Okay? Now, what if I change this? What if I make it, so let me use this plot, AAPL, and then if I put a dollar sign, if you recall, class, putting a dollar sign will allow us to find or access the data that's inside that object. The object is Apple, and then let's see. If we plot, let's say, adjusted, let's see what happens here. Tab, and if I run this, plot AAPL dollar sign Apple dot adjusted. Okay. Now you can see here that what's being plotted now is the adjusted price. So yung kanina, class, yung plot AAPL, nag-default siya into plotting the volume, no? Plotting the volume. All right. So ito, plotting the volume, class. But let's see now, if we use the chart series function that comes from Quantmod, let's see what happens. So I just placed this, class, but this is not needed because the chart series actually comes from Quantmod. Just for you to be aware that the chart series function comes from Quantmod. Okay, and if we run this, okay, what do you notice? Okay, so you can see here, class, na iba yung plot lang kaysa Quantmod. The Quantmod, you can see here, magkaiba yung plinat niya na time series at saka yung volume. The volume is separated. It has its own bar, no? It has its own chart. Tapos andito yung time series. So it will be interesting to note ano kaya yung plinat ni Quantmod dun sa chart series. I want you to find out. Is this the open, high, low, close? Is this the adjusted? Okay. So let's go back here. Delete ko lang to. All right. So how about this one, class? Okay, i-compare natin. Although we have done this, diba? Ito yan, no? Plot AAPL adjusted, and then ito kasi, class, ang chart series Apple and chart series dollar Apple adjusted. Let's compare these two. So this time specifically pinapaplot natin yung adjusted. Although kanina nakuha na natin sa plot yun, ano? Control enter. And you can see here, dalawang ipa-plot niya. Ito yung plot lang. Okay? So walang information about the adjusted. Pero yung sa chart series natin, class, what do you notice here? Okay. All right. Hindi din kasama yung no? Kasi specifically sinabi natin na adjusted lang, no? So hindi niya sinama yung volume. Okay? It did not include the volume. Okay, but what I want to point out is this one, class. Yung advantage ng chart series. So this one, i-share ko na sa inyo, no? Kasi medyo wala na tayong time. Okay, Control C. Let me share this with you. This will make us at par with the other section. Control V. Okay, so tingnan natin to, class, no? All right, so for this one, I'm creating this object, Tesla, get symbols Tesla. I defined the, ang inano ko lang dito, 1 month lang, class, no? 2023 11/30 up to 2023 12/31. So just 1 month, beginning of December and end of December 2023. And then just to make sure that Tesla object is created, TSLA, nag-auto.assign ako is equal to false. Okay? And then just to view Tesla, run natin lahat to. Okay, so yun yung structure, tapos ito yung object, no? And take note, the name of the object is small TSLA. Small TSLA. And then ito yung structure. I'm not going to discuss that. Alam na natin yan. And then let's try to see this one. Okay, if I plot class Tesla, okay, chart series Tesla, what happens? Tingnan nyo class. Yun, okay? So it plots everything, the volume, and then this is OHLC class. OHLC to. Open, high, low, close. So I hope you're familiar, class, with the candlestick. Could you kindly chat, please? If yeah, thank you, Patrice. That's the candlestick chart. So kindly chat, yes, please, if you know the candlestick, class, or yes or no na lang, please. So that I know if I'm still going to discuss it. Okay, mukhang yes naman lahat, class. All right, good, thank you. Thank you. So I won't discuss anymore what a candlestick is. Okay, but you can find here dito sa wick natin, WICK, ito yung highest value. Sa lower wick, class, that's the lowest value. Tapos dito, sa candle natin, class, this, pag green siya, class, this is the close. And this is the opening. Ibig sabihin, nag-increase. Mas mataas yung closing kaysa kay opening. On the other hand, if it's orange or red, the opening is the one above and the closing is the one below. Okay, so ganun lang siya. So andyan yung OHLC natin na candlestick, andito din yung volume. So very, very convenient way to use Quantmod to chart your series. Okay, and you can zoom in on a particular period. So dinefine lang natin, class, na 1 month lang from end November up to end ng December. Okay? All right. Okay, so ito, class, okay, sige, send ko na rin to. Control C. Control V. Ending na natin to. All right, but we have to have yung Google natin, class, no? And yung Google natin, it's is it here? I think we loaded it a while ago. Sensitive naman itong ano ko. Yeah, it's GOOGL, no? So I have to change the name. Okay. So let me end here, class. So let's see the bar chart ng Google. If I run this bar chart Google, okay, it will give me this, class. So the bar chart function, class, is from the Quantmod package. Or, okay, if I run this, we'll talk more about this. Google, my Elto, Google, and then candle chart, no? Candle chart, multi.color is equal to true, theme is equal to white. Ang mangyayari, class, kasi ang default ng chart sa Quantmod is black. So ito, I'm asking it to be a white theme. Okay. Theme is equal to white. There you go. So pwede siyang baguhin yung yung theme. So this is Google. This is the beginning date, ending date. Ito yung plot niya, ito yung time series plot, and then this is the volume. All right. So I hope you learned something today, class. We're going to end there. Stop recording ko muna.